Alright, this better be a good film, and I hope it's a good tribute to Chadwick Boseman. He will never be forgotten. Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever was released in 2022 and was directed once again by Ryan Coogler. It tells the story of how the Kingdom of Wakanda are grieving over the death of King T'Challa and they try to protect their home from intervening world power with other kingdoms. Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, I was honestly not looking forward to this movie one bit. I thought the trailers did make it look like a good movie, but I just wasn't excited for it. And the reason why was because of Chadwick Boseman's passing. Chadwick Boseman was a phenomenal actor, and I mean incredible actor, and I don't think anyone saw coming that he was going to pass away at such a young age. I still remember everyone did not see that coming. Everyone was so shocked when he passed. Oh my god, that was such a tragic, heartbreaking loss, and he will never be forgotten. May he rest in peace, because, oh my god, he never be forgotten, and that was so sad. And the first Black Panther is a great movie. It's one of my favourite MCU movies, and I still remember going to see it back in February 2018, and just came out really loving it. I thought it was fantastic. And whenever I rewatch it, or some of the other MCU movies that have Chadwick Boseman, I find it so hard to believe that he passed away. Oh my god, that was such a tragic, heartbreaking loss. And because of that, because of no Chadwick Boseman, I just didn't see the point in this sequel. I really just didn't see the point in this sequel. I was not looking forward to it one bit. It looked like a good movie, like a solid film, but I was not excited for it. I was not excited for it. And after the reviews came out, the reviews were saying that it's quite solid. It's not as good as the first film, but it's a nice tribute to Chadwick Boseman and is a good movie. I did get a little more intrigued to see it for myself. So I saw the film yesterday at 4:30 p.m. with my friend Tig. And when the film was over, my friend Tig thought it was good enough. And I'm in the same boat. Black Panther 2, in my opinion, is not an amazing movie. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't that impressed by Black Panther 2. It's not to say it's a bad film. It's by no means a bad movie. It's a decent film. I just think the movie really does suffer without Chadwick Boseman. I think it just doesn't feel right when watching it without Chadwick Boseman. I think what they try to do, the way they try to tribute Chadwick Boseman, is very nice actually. But I feel like most of the story was mostly just watching the other Wakandans continuing their story. And it didn't feel much of a tribute to Chadwick Boseman for the most part. It was really only the beginning and the ending where they really tribute him. I wish they had more scenes where they have T'Challa's legacy impact the story. That's what I wanted out of the movie. I thought we could have had more flashbacks to T'Challa. I think that would have been nice. And I found the story kind of lackluster. I didn't think it was that interesting, to be honest. It's a decent enough story, and the reason why I do believe this is the best MCU movie of 2022 is because I can see Ryan Coogler tried his absolute best, and I actually think the movie is as good as it could be. I don't think it could be anywhere near as good as the first movie, but I can see the effort and the passion Ryan Coogler did put into the story. I just think the story, it just didn't work for me personally. It's not a bad story. You can see the effort put into it. It just doesn't work for me. It just really does suffer without Chadwick Boseman. The visuals of the movie were good. However, some shots where we are first introduced to Namar, and it's meant to be set at nighttime, the lighting was so dark you could barely see a thing. I found that kind of annoying. And a lot of the action, while still good, it didn't impress me as much as I thought it would be. It just didn't have the epic feel. It just didn't have that epic feel that I thought it would. But the acting was phenomenal. I think the characters are very well acted, and Queen Ramonda had such a fantastic performance in the film. So yeah, the performances in the film are fantastic. And the characters, while still good, they're not at their best. Shuri is decent enough, and while her arc in the film is interesting, it's not quite as compelling as it could have been. While it's nice to see the other characters again, such as Akia, Naboku, Queen Ramonda, and the other Wakandans, and it's nice to see their arcs continue, but it's just not the same, nor as interesting seeing them without King T'Challa. The new characters are decent, they're nothing amazing, but they are interesting enough, and it's nice to see their dynamic with Shuri. The Talokan were an interesting army, and the main villain Namar was an interesting enough antagonist for the film, but I feel he lacked a lot of character development in my book. So yeah, the cast of characters, it just wasn't the same. It just didn't feel right to me. The music of the film was pretty nice actually. There's actually a fair few amount of pop songs surprisingly, and they actually fit the scenes in the movie, which I was very surprised about. So yeah, this is a good film and definitely the best of the three MCU movies this year, but not on the same levels as the first movie. Overall, Black Panther 2 is a decent film, but it's nowhere near as good as the first movie. The storyline is a bit lackluster, and the characters, while still good, it's just not the same seeing them without T'Challa. It does have some decent action, nice visuals, and music, but it's definitely nowhere near the levels of the first movie. I'm going to give Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever a 7 out of 10. Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace. He will never be forgotten, and sadly, a few of the actors in the movie sadly passed away after the movie finished production, I believe, which is very, very sad. So it's very sad. So yeah, that's my review for Black Panther 2. Stay tuned for my next review. Until then, everyone, take care. Thank you all for watching. What did you think of the film? Stay tuned for the next video. And until then,